In the heart of a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and lush green fields, there lived a golden retriever named Max. He was known for his playful spirit and friendly demeanor, often seen frolicking in the meadows or chasing butterflies with the village children. But lately, something had changed. Max had developed an unusual fixation on an old, abandoned well at the edge of the village. The well, covered in ivy and surrounded by wildflowers, had stood there for generations, a relic of a bygone era. It was said to be haunted by stories of lost treasures and forgotten secrets. Most villagers regarded it as nothing more than an eyesore, a place to avoid. But for Max, it had become an obsession. Every day, as the sun rose over the village, Max would trot over to the well, his tail wagging with excitement. However, instead of playing or exploring like he usually did, he would sit by the edge of the well, barking incessantly. His barks were not those of joy. They were urgent and filled with a sense of purpose that puzzled everyone around him. Ali, Max's young owner, noticed his dog's strange behavior one sunny afternoon. "Come on, Max, let's go play fetch," he called out cheerfully, tossing a stick into the air. But Max ignored him completely. Instead, he continued to bark at the well as if he were trying to communicate something important. Curious villagers began to gather around, drawn by Max's relentless barking. "What's wrong with that dog?" one elderly woman wondered aloud. "He's been at it for hours." Another villager suggested that perhaps there was something in the well that had caught Max's attention, a rat or some other creature. Ali approached Max and knelt beside him. "What is it, boy? What do you see?" he asked gently. But Max only barked louder, his eyes fixed intently on the dark opening of the well. Ali felt a twinge of worry. Was his beloved dog trying to tell them something? As the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting long shadows across the village square, more villagers gathered to witness this peculiar scene. Some speculated that perhaps Max had discovered something hidden within the depths of the well, something that needed to be uncovered. "Maybe we should check it out," suggested Rahim, a local farmer known for his adventurous spirit. "There could be treasure down there." Laughter erupted among the crowd at this suggestion. After all, tales of treasure hidden in wells were just stories meant to entertain. But Ali felt a sense of unease wash over him. He knew Max too well. His loyal companion would never act this way without reason. "We should see what's going on," he insisted, glancing back at his dog who seemed more determined than ever. As dusk settled over the village and stars began to twinkle in the night sky, Ali made up his mind. He would find out why Max was so fixated on that old well. Little did he know that this decision would lead them all on an unexpected adventure, one filled with mystery and discovery that would change their lives forever. With renewed determination, Ali called out to Officer Sarah, who was known for her kindness toward animals and her investigative skills. "Officer Sarah, can you come take a look at what's going on with Max?" As she approached with her flashlight in hand and a curious smile on her face, little did they know that they were about to uncover secrets long buried beneath their village, a journey sparked by one dog's unwavering loyalty and instinctive behavior around an old well that held more than just water. The next morning, the village was buzzing with talk about Max and his unusual behavior. Whispers filled the air as villagers gathered at the tea shop, where they shared their thoughts over steaming cups of chai. The sun shone brightly, illuminating the cobblestone streets, but the atmosphere was thick with curiosity and concern. Ali sat at a table with his friends, his brow furrowed in worry. "I just don't understand why Max won't leave that well," he said, stirring his tea absent-mindedly. "He's never acted like this before. I think he's trying to tell us something," replied Sarah, a girl from the village who often played with Max. "Dogs have instincts we don't understand. Maybe there's something down there." As they spoke, an elderly man named Mr. Khan joined them, leaning heavily on his cane. "I've heard stories about that well," he said in a gravelly voice. "They say it was once a place of great significance. Some even believe it holds secrets from the past." "What kind of secrets?" Ali asked, intrigued. "Long ago, a family vanished without a trace," Mr. Khan replied, his eyes narrowing as he recalled the tale. "Their belongings were never found, and some say they were last seen near that well." The group fell silent, contemplating the weight of Mr. Khan's words. Ali felt a chill run down his spine. Could Max somehow be connected to this mystery? The thought gnawed at him. As the day wore on, Max continued to guard the well, barking and pacing as if he were on high alert. Villagers passing by would stop to watch him, some shaking their heads in disbelief while others exchanged worried glances. It was clear that something needed to be done. That evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and painted the sky in hues of orange and purple, Ali gathered a group of concerned villagers at the well. He knew they couldn't ignore Max's behavior any longer. "Everyone," Ali called out, raising his voice to get their attention. "We need to do something about Max. He won't leave this spot, and I'm worried he might be trying to tell us something important." A murmur of agreement rippled through the crowd. Officer Sarah stepped forward, her expression serious yet compassionate. "I think it's time we involve the police," she said decisively. "We need to investigate what's going on here." The villagers nodded in agreement, and soon they made their way to the police station at the edge of the village. Officer Sarah explained the situation to her colleagues, how Max had been barking at the well for days and how concerned Ali and others were about what might be hidden inside. "Let's gather some equipment," Officer Rahim suggested. "We can use a camera to see what's down there without putting anyone in danger." Within an hour, Officer Sarah and her team returned to the well with flashlights, ropes, and a small camera attached to a long pole. The villagers watched in anticipation as they set up their equipment. "Max seems more agitated than ever," Ali observed as he held onto Max's collar tightly. The dog barked excitedly but remained focused on the well. Officer Sarah knelt beside Max and spoke soothingly to him. "It's okay, boy, we're going to figure this out together." She then turned her attention back to her team. "Let's lower the camera into the well and see what we can find." With careful precision, they lowered the camera into the dark opening of the well while everyone held their breath in anticipation. The screen flickered to life, revealing a view of damp stones and murky water below. As they adjusted the camera angle, something glimmered in the darkness, a faint light reflecting off an object submerged beneath layers of debris. "What is that?" someone gasped from the crowd. Officer Sarah leaned closer to inspect the screen. "It looks like there might be something down there," she said with growing excitement. "We need to bring it up." With renewed determination, Officer Rahim carefully maneuvered the camera deeper into the well while others gathered around for a better view. Max continued barking enthusiastically as if urging them on. The tension in the air was palpable as they worked together, villagers united by curiosity and concern for their beloved dog and what lay hidden beneath their feet. Little did they know that this investigation would not only reveal secrets from years past but also lead them on an adventure that would change their lives forever, a journey sparked by one dog's unwavering loyalty and instinctive behavior around an old well that held more than just water. The atmosphere in the village was electric with anticipation as the villagers gathered around the old wooden box that Officer Sarah had unearthed from the well. The sun hung high in the sky, casting a warm glow on the scene, but the mood was somber as they began to grasp the gravity of what they had discovered. Officer Sarah carefully placed the box on a nearby table, ensuring everyone could see its contents. The letters, jewelry, and journal lay before them like pieces of a puzzle waiting to be assembled. Max, still alert and watchful, sat faithfully by Ali's side, his eyes darting between the villagers and the box. "Let's take a closer look at these letters," Officer Sarah suggested, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment. "They might give us more insight into what happened to this family." As she began to read another letter aloud, the crowd fell silent once more. The words painted a vivid picture of fear and desperation. "To anyone who finds this letter, we are in hiding. Our lives are in danger due to circumstances beyond our control. We have hidden our most cherished belongings in hopes that one day they may be found by someone who understands our plight." The villagers listened intently, their hearts heavy with empathy for the family whose story was unfolding before them. Each letter revealed more about their lives, tales of love, loss, and an impending threat that had forced them into hiding. "Who could have done this to them?" Ali whispered to Sarah, his brow furrowed in concern. "I don't know yet," she replied softly. "But we need to find out." As Officer Sarah continued reading, she stumbled upon a particularly poignant passage that mentioned a hidden location where the family had planned to escape if things became too dangerous. "There's mention of a place called the Hollow Grove," she read aloud. "It was supposed to be their sanctuary, a safe haven away from prying eyes." The crowd murmured among themselves, intrigued by this new lead. "I know where that is," shouted Rahim, pointing towards a dense thicket at the edge of the village. "It's not far from here. We should go there and see if there's anything left." Encouraged by Rahim's enthusiasm, Officer Sarah nodded. "That sounds like a great idea. We need to investigate further and see if we can find any additional clues about what happened to this family." With renewed determination, the group set off towards the Hollow Grove, guided by Rahim's familiarity with the area. Max trotted alongside Allie, his demeanor calm but alert as if he sensed that they were on the brink of uncovering something significant. As they approached the Hollow Grove, they were greeted by towering trees that formed a natural canopy overhead. Sunlight filtered through the leaves, creating a serene and almost magical atmosphere. However, there was an underlying tension in the air. Everyone felt it, the weight of history pressing down on them. "Keep your eyes peeled for anything unusual," Officer Sarah instructed as they entered the grove. "We don't know what we might find." The group spread out slightly, searching for signs of anything left behind by the family. They examined tree trunks for carvings or markings and scoured the ground for any remnants of their past. Max wandered ahead of Allie, sniffing curiously at various spots along the path. Suddenly, he stopped abruptly and began digging at a patch of earth near an old oak tree. "Max, what did you find?" Allie called out excitedly. Max continued to dig vigorously with his paws until he unearthed something shiny, a small metal locket glinting in the dappled sunlight. Allie rushed over and knelt beside him. "Good boy," he exclaimed as he picked up the locket and examined it closely. It was intricately designed with delicate engravings on its surface. With trembling hands, Allie opened it to reveal a tiny photograph inside, a portrait of a woman holding a baby. "This must be one of their family members," he said breathlessly. The image resonated deeply with everyone present. It was a tangible connection to a story that had long been forgotten. Officer Sarah joined them and took a closer look at the locket. "This is incredible," she said thoughtfully. "It could help us identify who they were." As they continued their search through the Hollow Grove, they discovered more artifacts, old toys buried beneath leaves, pieces of fabric from clothing long since faded, and even remnants of makeshift shelters that hinted at desperate attempts to find safety. Each discovery added another layer to their understanding of what had transpired all those years ago. The villagers felt a growing sense of responsibility. They were not just uncovering history but also honoring those who had suffered. After hours of searching under the watchful eye of Max, who seemed to guide them with his instincts, they gathered together at a clearing in the Hollow Grove to share their findings. "We've learned so much today," Officer Sarah said as she looked around at her fellow villagers. "But we still have questions. What happened to this family? Why did they go into hiding? And can we find any descendants who might want these belongings back?" Just then, Max barked sharply and ran toward another part of the grove as if sensing something important nearby. The villagers exchanged curious glances before following him. What they would discover next would be pivotal, a piece of history waiting to be revealed that could change everything they thought they knew about their village and its past. Little did they know that Max's instincts would lead them deeper into an unfolding mystery that connected their present with echoes from long ago, a journey filled with secrets waiting to be unearthed. As Max bounded ahead, the villagers followed closely, their hearts racing with anticipation. The atmosphere in the Hollow Grove was thick with mystery, and each step they took felt like a step deeper into the past. Max's barking grew more frantic as he led them to a secluded area surrounded by thick underbrush. "Over here," Allie called out, pushing aside branches to catch up with Max. The dog had stopped in front of a large, gnarled tree with roots that twisted and turned like ancient fingers reaching into the earth. Max was digging furiously at the base of the tree, his excitement palpable. "What do you think he's found?" Officer Sarah asked, her eyes sparkling with curiosity. "Let's find out," Allie replied, kneeling beside Max. Together, they began to clear away the dirt and debris that had accumulated around the tree. The villagers gathered around, eager to see what lay hidden beneath the surface. As they dug deeper, their fingers brushed against something solid. With one final push, they unearthed a small wooden chest, its surface worn but intact. The chest was much smaller than the box they had found earlier but bore intricate carvings that hinted at its significance. Could this be another treasure from the family? Rahim wondered aloud, his voice filled with awe. Carefully, Officer Sarah helped Allie lift the chest out of its resting place. They set it down on a flat rock nearby and examined it closely. The latch was rusted but still functional. With a gentle tug, Officer Sarah managed to pry it open. Inside lay an assortment of items that shimmered in the dappled sunlight filtering through the trees. Gold coins, delicate silver bracelets, and small trinkets that sparkled like stars. The sight took everyone's breath away. "Wow, this is incredible," someone gasped as they leaned closer to inspect the contents. Ali's eyes widened as he reached for a handful of coins. These must be worth a fortune. But why would they hide all this here? Officer Sarah carefully lifted a silver bracelet adorned with tiny gemstones and examined it closely. These items likely held sentimental value for the family, she said thoughtfully. They may have hidden them in hopes of returning one day. As they sifted through the treasures, Officer Sarah noticed something unusual at the bottom of the chest, a folded piece of parchment. She gently removed it and unfolded it carefully. It was an old map, yellowed with age and marked with symbols and notes in elegant handwriting. "Everyone, look at this," she exclaimed, holding it up for all to see. This could be a map leading to more hidden treasures or locations significant to this family. The villagers crowded around her as she laid the map flat on a nearby rock for everyone to see. It depicted not only their village but also surrounding areas, forests, hills, and even landmarks that had long since changed or faded from memory. "What do these symbols mean?" Ali asked, pointing to various markings on the map. "I think some of them indicate places where they may have hidden more belongings," Officer Sarah replied, her excitement palpable. "This could lead us on another adventure." The villagers buzzed with enthusiasm at the prospect of further discoveries. "We should follow this map," Rahim suggested eagerly. "Who knows what else we might find?" Max barked in agreement as if sensing the thrill of exploration ahead. His loyalty had already led them to incredible discoveries, now it seemed he was ready for more. Officer Sarah nodded firmly. "But we need to be cautious. We don't know what we might encounter out there or what dangers might still linger from their past." With a newfound sense of purpose, they decided to split into smaller groups to cover more ground while following the clues on the map. Each group would take a different route based on what they believed would yield more findings. Before setting off, Ali knelt beside Max and scratched behind his ears affectionately. "You've been amazing through all of this," he said with gratitude in his voice. "I don't think we would have found any of this without you." Max wagged his tail vigorously as if understanding every word. As they prepared for their next adventure, Officer Sarah reminded everyone to stay together and keep communication open via walkie-talkies they had brought along for safety. With excitement bubbling in their hearts and determination guiding their steps, they set off into the woods following the ancient map, a journey that promised not only more treasures but also deeper connections to their village's history and perhaps even answers to questions that had haunted them for decades. As they ventured forth into unknown territory guided by Max's instincts and Officer Sarah's leadership, little did they know that this expedition would reveal not just material treasures but also stories of love and resilience that had shaped their community long ago, a legacy waiting patiently to be uncovered once more. The sun hung high in the sky as the villagers set off into the woods, hearts racing with excitement and curiosity. With the ancient map in hand, they followed the winding trails marked by trees and streams, each step bringing them closer to uncovering more of the family's hidden legacy. Max trotted ahead, his nose twitching as he sniffed the air, guiding them with an instinct that seemed almost supernatural. As they walked, Officer Sarah took charge of the group, keeping everyone focused and motivated. "Remember, we're not just looking for treasure," she reminded them. "We're trying to piece together a story that belongs to our village." The map led them deeper into the woods, where sunlight filtered through the leaves, creating a mosaic of light and shadow on the forest floor. After a while, they reached a clearing that was marked on the map with a symbol resembling a star. "This is it," Rahim exclaimed, pointing at the clearing. "According to the map, there should be something significant here." The group spread out cautiously, scanning their surroundings for any signs of what might have been hidden. Max was particularly alert, his ears perked up and his tail wagging furiously as he sniffed around. Suddenly, Max darted toward a cluster of bushes at the edge of the clearing. He began digging furiously again, his excitement infectious. "What is it, boy?" Ali called out, rushing to Max's side. As Ali knelt beside him, he noticed something glimmering just beneath the surface of the earth. With Max's help, He cleared away the dirt and unearthed an ornate box similar to the one they had found at the well. Another box. Someone shouted in disbelief. Officer Sarah quickly joined them and helped lift the box from its resting place. It was heavier than expected and intricately carved with symbols that matched those on their previous discoveries. "Let's open it," Ali urged, his heart pounding with anticipation. With everyone gathered around, Officer Sarah carefully opened the box. Inside lay an assortment of items. More jewelry, coins, and what appeared to be family heirlooms. An intricately designed silver locket, a beautifully crafted wooden toy carved in the shape of a horse, and several small trinkets that told stories of love and nostalgia. "This is incredible," Rahim exclaimed as he picked up a delicate bracelet adorned with tiny charms. "It's like we're uncovering their entire life story." As they sifted through the treasures, Officer Sarah discovered another folded piece of parchment at the bottom of the box. She unfolded it carefully and gasped as she read its contents aloud. "To whoever finds this treasure," she began, "these items are tokens of our love and memories. We buried them here in hopes that one day they would be found by someone who would understand our journey." The letter detailed not only their fears but also their hopes for future generations, their desire for their story to live on even after they were gone. The villagers listened intently as Officer Sarah read about their dreams for a better life and their longing for safety. "This is more than just treasure," Officer Sarah said softly when she finished reading. "It's a testament to their resilience and love." Just then, Max barked again and darted off toward another part of the clearing. The villagers exchanged puzzled looks but quickly followed him. He stopped near an old tree stump that appeared to have been disturbed recently. "What is it now?" Ali asked as he caught up with Max. Max sniffed around excitedly before pawing at the ground near the base of the stump. Ali knelt down again and began to dig alongside Max. To their astonishment, they uncovered another item, a small leather-bound journal that had been buried beneath layers of dirt. "Look at this," Ali exclaimed as he held it up for everyone to see. Officer Sarah took it gently from him and opened it carefully. The pages were yellowed but legible. They contained handwritten entries detailing daily life, struggles with fear, moments of joy shared as a family, and dreams for a brighter future. "This journal could hold even more secrets," she said excitedly. "It might help us understand everything they went through." As Sarah flipped through its pages, she discovered entries dated just before their disappearance, entries filled with hope but also foreboding warnings about dangers lurking nearby. "This is incredible," she murmured as she read aloud excerpts that spoke of love for family and community but also fear from external threats that had forced them into hiding. Max sat beside Ali, watching intently as if he understood how important this moment was. The villagers felt a deep sense of connection to those who had come before them, a bond forged through shared experiences of love and loss. As they continued reading entries from the journal and examining their findings together, something remarkable happened. The villagers began sharing stories from their own lives, tales of hardship overcome through unity and resilience. They realized that while they were uncovering a lost family's history, they were also celebrating their own community's strength. In that moment of shared reflection and connection, Max stood tall beside Ali, a silent guardian whose instincts had led them on this incredible journey. His loyalty had not only uncovered treasures but had also brought together a community united by compassion and understanding. As dusk approached and shadows lengthened in the hollow grove, Officer Sarah looked around at her fellow villagers with pride. "We've discovered so much today. Not just about this family but about ourselves as well," she said warmly. With newfound purpose in their hearts, they decided to honor both the lost family and Max's heroism by creating a memorial in their village, a place where future generations could learn about their history and remember those who came before them. As they made plans for this tribute under the fading light of day, Ali knelt beside Max once more. "You did it, buddy," he whispered affectionately. "You brought us all together." Max wagged his tail happily as if understanding every word spoken, a loyal companion whose bravery had sparked an adventure that would forever change not only their village's history but also its future. And so began a new chapter for both Max and his beloved village, one filled with hope, unity, and a commitment to preserving stories that would echo through time, a legacy born from loyalty and love that would never be forgotten.